Coming up on the bench in the Crown City Classic, it was Syracuse men's lacrosse looking to be crowned the victors against Johns Hopkins. Which national powerhouse would prevail when the clock hit zero, and which team would be denied a crucial top 10 victory? We show you all the haymakers thrown by the Orange and the Blue Jays in a thriller down in Charlotte. On the hardwood, it's not a very well-kept secret that SU women's basketball has looked to Deasia Fair to steer the ship all season long. In their most recent matchup with the red-hot Florida State, we'll find out if Syracuse sunk to the bottom or continued to sail the seas in ACC conference play. Highlights coming your way as the Cuse and the Noles collided in the Dome. To hockey, where the end of the road is fast approaching for the SU women. The Orange have stumbled through conference play, but hey, a two-game series against RIT sure sounds like a good opportunity to notch a couple of wins. How would the Skatin' Orange fare? We'll discuss that and a lot more on this edition of On the Bench, which starts right now. Hey Tyler, good to see you. Let's look bigger picture for a second. This team has really struggled against some of the top opponents in the ACC this year. A loss to North Carolina the other day, and then a blowout against Duke today. Do you think these losses are just a product of a huge talent gap between Syracuse and the top teams in the ACC? Or do you think at this point in the season, Felicia Leggett-Jack's crew has just simply mailed it in? Absolutely. Isaiah James and Zoe Brooks combining for 53 points for the Wolfpack. Huge result out of the ACC, double overtime to beat Hannah Hidalgo and the Fighting Irish. And then I look at the game right below that, a really fun matchup in the Big 12 between number 10 TCU and number 17 West Virginia. Player, maybe you've heard of her, Haley Van Lith, dropped 26 points for the Horned Frogs today en route to their 21-point victory. Through 2.5 innings, it seemed it was same old Cuse, falling behind 4-0 to North Carolina. Then the floodgates finally opened, and the Orange executed a Tar Heel takedown, winning 7-5 in Game 1 of the series. The key to today's win? Resilience. Disappointed, frustrated, and without any answers, Syracuse softball was swept by Clemson this weekend. The Orange fell to the Tigers 15-0 on Sunday, and in the series, SU was outscored 33-1. Cuse head coach Shannon Depking describes the laundry list of things that went wrong for her team over these past 3 games. After 6 weeks on the road, Syracuse softball was finally back in the comfort of its own home. The Orange won both games of a Wednesday doubleheader against Niagara. The first game a 7-6 thrilling comeback win, with the second game a 15-0 thrashing of the Purple Eagles. In Game 1, the Orange were down 6-3 going into the final frame when senior Tessa Gallipo walked it off. Well guys, that was close, but I beat the throw and made it safely to first. And Syracuse softball has more than just safely made it through the first part of its season, starting off 11-0. That's a program record. And obviously the weather here in central New York is not ideal for playing softball in early and mid-February, so the Orange were on the road for a long time, taking trips to Georgia, Delaware, and North Carolina, and coming out of those road trips relatively unscathed. A lot of success. A big reason for that has been the pitching. Madison Knight and Juliana Verney have anchored a rotation that started off its season. Through 2 weeks of the year, they were second in the nation in team ERA, a huge strong suit for Coach Shannon Depking's squad. But let's see how they do in the middle part of their season. Well, we made it to second, and this is where the real test begins. And so far, Syracuse has really failed that test. The Orange started conference play being swept by number 19 Stanford out in Palo Alto, the first matchup between Syracuse and Stanford as conference opponents. And then the next series was a trip down to Duke, where Syracuse grabbed only 1 of 3 games against the Blue Devils. And then this past Sunday against Clemson, Shannon Depking's squad hit rock bottom, being swept, outscored 33-1 over the 3 games, losing in really all facets of the game. A really bad start after a promising start to the season for SU. Third base, just 60 feet away now, and now let's highlight one of Syracuse's stars. Pitcher Madison Knight. Not only does she have a 2.7 ERA on the mound, but she's also good with the bat. This reminds me of my Little League days. Although I didn't hit any home runs, I was a pretty decent hitter back in the day. But Knight has been incredible in both facets of the game. She's Syracuse's ace in the circle and also hit 3 home runs this season, including a go-ahead home run in Game 3 against Duke, propelling the Orange to their first ranked win of the season. She has been a super fun player to watch and a real weapon for this team. Well, we've slid into home safely and scored a run. And in order for Syracuse to have a successful home stretch of the season, the Orange will have to start winning some games. Shannon Depking's squad just 1-8 right now in ACC play. Fortunately, the hardest part of the schedule is over with for SU, with just one ranked opponent to play here on out. And some beatable teams coming up, including North Carolina, Cal, and Boston College. Syracuse will have to take advantage of those opportunities if it wants to make the ACC tournament. Only the top 12 of 15 teams in the conference will make the postseason. SU figures to be right on the bubble as we hit the home stretch. Guys, back to you.
Ziamana, nice pass to McNabb, who cut to the basket, and McNabb floats in the air for two.
Twice now that Chevrolet has caught Thornton off guard with the backdoor cuts. This time it's McNabb. Got to try to make that adjustment. You can't. That's going to burn you all day if you keep letting that happen.
Kamiri, corner three, you bet. Ryan Kamiri coming off a season-high 10 points. Threads the three-pointer for TA.
Beautiful shot in the corner from Kamiri. Nothing but net.
On the back cut, it's A.J. Latour who checked into the game off the bench, and he misses. Benoit nearly lost it out of bounds, able to save it. Kamiri, crossover on Playlam. Kicks it to Alston. Corner three. He's got it. Deshaun Alston has played quite a role for the Trojans in this past week or so, and he's got the second straight three-pointer for TA.
You go right there. Back-to-back trips down the floor with a couple of three balls. That was a turnover against Chevrolet. Let's take a look at this right here. Yeah. Left open in the corner. They fed him, and McNabb got there, but he had already squared up the basket. Got to do a better job closing out if you're Chevrolet. Otherwise, on the other end, Thornton's going to burn you in the corner.
6-0 Golden Trojan run. Benoit gets a screen from Nelson. Drives in the lane, drops it off for Nelson, who scores off the window. McNabb, nearly a step back mid-range. Ziamana the drive. Nice shot fake by Fitzpatrick. Goes up through the trees and gets the roll.
Great move by Fitzpatrick.
Benoit in the paint, turns around. It's going to be an offensive foul on TA. We'll take a look at the replay.
Let's go back the other way. This is down here on the other end. You see Ziamona drove, gives it to Fitzpatrick, and he drives. Heavy traffic. Gets the home roll. And a nice contested bucket from Fitzpatrick.
On the back cut, they love that play. McNabb unable to hit on the layup, and Dom Hussey tracks down the rebound. Alston in transition, he'll slow it down. This is a Chevrolet team that really only runs about a 7-man rotation. The two guys off the bench primarily are A.J. Latour and Aaron Goodman. But other than that, really nobody sees significant minutes for the Stags team unless the game is a blowout. On the other hand, for TA, they'll go a little bit deeper into their bench, which you'll see as the game goes on. Hussey guarded by Latour. Nelson left open for three. He'll take it. He's well short. It's an air ball, and it'll go back to Chevrolet.
Yeah, I think if you're Chevrolet in that situation, you'll give up that shot all day long. Nelson, we saw him just a few moments ago get it done down underneath, but the moment, first three-point shot, hit nothing but the hardwood. So if you're Chevrolet in that situation, you won't mind leaving it open a little bit later on in the game.
Looks kind of flat-footed on the three-point attempts. He didn't really step into it as much as you'd like him to. Latour in the short corner. He'll back it out. Trying to find Ziamana on the cut, and he is unable to handle the pass. Trojan basketball.
And Ziamana just a little too strong on the cut. His momentum pretty much just took him right out of bounds, and it's an unfortunate turnover there. A couple of kind of uncharacteristic turnovers for Chevrolet a couple times down the floor now in this first quarter.
The freshman Liam Hamilton checks into the game for TA. The senior Aaron Goodman for Chevrolet. Benoit off the back cut scores. First bucket of the game for Wyatt Benoit, the 25 per game scorer. As McNabb is rejected on his drive to the rim, Nelson snares the rebound. Kamiri, he'll take it himself in transition, up for the layup and one. Ryan Kamiri, a quick start for him, 5 points, and he'll head to the line to look to make it 6.
Man, look at